Hello, everybody, friends and family. Welcome back to the Second Chance Podcast. My name is Evan.
My name is Christian.
And my name is Gord.
And welcome to episode, 6?
7. Oh, I can't believe we just did that.
Well,
but
okay.
That's okay.
We don't go rid of that. 8?
We are
9?
not into the 6, 7, just so that we're clear.
7, 6? I don't know.
Yeah. But we're into Ecclesiastes.
We are.
And we're so excited, especially that we have Gord here. It's absolutely amazing. So Gord is our official first guest ever on our show.
Woo.
And which is pretty special. So
Honored.
Gord is a dear friend of ours. We go to the same church. And, Gord, I've known you for years.
Many years now.
Yeah, long time. And, Gord, just for our viewers, for those that are listening that might not know much about you, if you could sum up your life in a couple of minutes.
No pressure.
No pressure. How do you start?
Boy, that's a tough one. If I could just sum up how I see myself, bottom line is I see myself as a servant of Christ and a member of the family of God, a father, husband, just a proud family man, and I'm much more that way than I used to be when I was younger. When I was younger, all I wanted to do was change the world, and I don't think family was as important as it could be and should be. And I'm much more about that now. So, and I've got 4 kids.
Yeah.
3 daughters and a son. And 2 of the kids are married. And each of them have a child.
Nice.
And so it's all about that. But in the end, I had this heartbeat inside of me. I want to change the world. It's never left me. I want to be a world changer. Somebody who makes an impact and leaves something behind. Leaves life behind.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think that's probably it. Yeah.
And your background too, I know that your dad was involved, your dad was a pastor, right? And in missionary work.
That's right.
As well. And so I know from your background, you've been to Africa multiple times.
I've lived there for 10 years of my life.
Okay, there we go.
And I've traveled numerous times there, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow. So right now, Gord's on the show with us today, and this is really cool because we're in the book of Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
We've done chapter 1. Now we've started chapter 2. Just super brief from last week, we talked about in chapter 2, one of the phrases that kept coming up over and over was about nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. And that's actually in verse 9, right? What has been is what will be, and what has been done is what will be done, and there's nothing new under the sun. And myself and Gord were talking on our last Sunday service, and Gord, I asked you, or we were talking about Ecclesiastes for a moment, and you mentioned, you said something really cool. Do you remember what you had said about that?
I think I do.
Okay.
Yeah. That phrase, under the sun, is one of the keys, I think, to unlocking this book in the Old Testament, because it's not just talking about about the weather, or talking about a location. It's talking about a mindset and a worldview in which people don't see anything beyond what they can see with their eyes, what they can experience with their physical senses. And they don't see anything beyond this life, beyond the sun. There's no eternity. And it's that kind of a mindset that ultimately leads to the kind of despair that you see in the book. But then you see little evidences. It's like popcorn.
Yeah.
At different moments.
Yeah, right.
Suddenly it's like Solomon pokes his head out of this despair and recognizes the importance of God and what a difference that makes in how you view your whole life.
And what's interesting too is that I had mentioned our last podcast about when we were talking about Ecclesiastes. I really feel, and I said this to you on Sunday, I really feel that this book is so relevant for today's culture, right? And the generations today, because, often what you hear for people that are struggling with knowing purpose and, and not having the understanding of what God has in store for them, they often say, like, what's the point, right? Like, like everything's already been done, or not seeing much of what could possibly be down the road, which is very short, right?
Reminds me of something Jim Carrey said, actually, funny enough.
Oh, okay.
When he was at, he was just up somewhere for getting an award for something, global, whichever. But he said, hello everybody, my name is Jim Carrey, and I've become the second global award winner something, and my dream is to be Jim Carrey, third global winner of... And the whole thing was like, everybody was laughing about it, but then after a while they were like, oh, there's something deeper to what he's saying here. Like, when I get this next award, I'm going to be, this is it, right? Yeah.
Interesting you say that, because I was watching an interview with him about his early years, when before he actually became famous at all. He was still just doing stand-up. And Jim Carrey said that he signed $1 million check and put it away. So he just like made up a check, signed it, $1 million to Jim Carrey, right, and just put it away. And I can't remember if he put a date on it, but his goal was when he became famous and successful that he would cash a check like that, right? He was looking forward to what was down. He was setting his goal right away, right? And all right. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and let's dive in to our first chapter, which is actually Ecclesiastes 2. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, Paul.
Our second chapter.
Yeah. Take us away.
So I'll be reading from verses 1 to 11. Okay. Here we go. I said in my heart, come now, I will test you with pleasure. Enjoy yourself. But behold, this also is vanity. I said of laughter, it is mad, and of pleasure, what use is it? I searched with my heart how to cheer my body with wine, my heart still guiding me with wisdom, and how to lay hold on folly till I might see what was good for the children of man to do under heaven during the few days of their life. I made great works. I built houses and planted vineyards for myself. I made myself gardens and parks, and planted in them all kinds of fruit trees. I made myself pools from which to water the forest of growing trees. I bought male and female slaves, and had slaves who were born in my house. I had also great possessions of herds and flocks, more than any who had been before me in Jerusalem. I also gathered for myself silver and gold, and the treasure of kings and provinces. I got singers, both men and women, and many concubines, the delight of the sons of man. So I became great, and surpassed all who were before me in Jerusalem, although my wisdom remained with me. And whatever my eyes desired, I did not keep from them. I kept my heart from no pleasure, for my heart found pleasure in all my toil, and this was my reward for all my toil. Then I considered all that my hands had done, and the toil I had expended in doing it, and behold, all was vanity and a striving after wind, and there was nothing to be gained under the sun.
And here we are again.
Under the sun.
Under the sun.
Right?
Something that stood out to me as you were reading that was that this is obviously very different than chapter 1, right? I know, Evan, last time you and I said it was almost like more poetic, chapter 1.
Yeah.
But this one feels like a lot more of a concrete list of...
This feels like he's almost writing a letter to somebody saying, don't do what I did.
Yeah, almost. And like, I've gone ahead and I've done all these things. And, and then we get to this concluding part just in that, verse 11, and there was nothing to be gained under the sun.
Yeah.
What do you think, Gord?
Oh, it's true. It's very true, yeah. There's so much in here that I think describes people today. You know, and I noticed the fabulous wealth and how everything that he accumulated it. You know, and instead of making him feel better, it was like a hatred of it all. You can pick up from it.
Yeah.
Because of his view of being under the sun.
Yeah. One of the things I wanted to mention too, just for our listeners, because I know we have listeners that are young and older listeners as well, and some of you might not fully understand the context. So when of a certain verse here, because when we hear of slavery, right, often our minds go right back to America, right, 1800s, 1700s. You know, Great Britain, slavery around the world, and
all the European powers.
Yeah, quite literally.
That's a whole other can of worms that I think would take a lot longer than a half hour to explain. Does the Bible condone slavery?
Yeah, well, the thing is, but one thing I just want to mention about that is that when he's talking about the slaves, Israel was very unique. And I'd like to get your guys' input on this too, but like Israel was very unique for this time period of the rights and protections that the Lord established in the commandments when it came towards slaves. Like it even has rules, like if they wanted to stay with you, like you got to let them go after so long, right? And if they want to stay with you, you know, there's a whole process to make that happen. And I just want to lay that out there because, like, when, you know, in verse 7 we just read, like, I bought male and female slaves. Like, we're not talking about Solomon as, like, some kind of monster with plantations or things like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that in this time period, this was a widely accepted practice, and slavery back then, and correct me if I'm wrong, definitely had a discussion on it. It was very different than, we'll say, the modern era of it. What do you guys think? You think that's a fair statement?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what was going on back there with slavery, but I also think we shouldn't be lifting Solomon up here as a paragon of virtue, and then say, you know, even Solomon had slaves. I think it's pretty clear that Solomon is not in very good shape, and the sense I had in reading this was that, you know, this was legal. I even had slaves, and I had children born of slaves in my house. Like, wow. You know.
It made it sound almost like he knew that this wasn't the right thing to do, but he did it anyway just to kind of see, like, what would come of it. Because there was a verse, what was it? My wisdom remained with me.
Yeah.
So it was like I wasn't doing this of my wisdom, but just kind of to see what people kind of think they can gain from doing all of this.
Yeah.
When even the wives and the concubines, I mean, he had 1,000 wives and concubines, and I mean,
oh my,
the Old Testament does not really teach people to do that.
No.
You know, there are some divine concessions, I think, in the Old Testament that say, okay, if you're going to do that, then these are the rules. But that's not necessarily God's way.
Do you think, like, you know how with David, and it's, like, Eli never disciplined his sons, right? Like, that's the, right? Eli never disciplined his sons. We know that the sword never left David's house, right? After David had sinned, and it seems like his sons, I don't know if I read that in the Bible, or I heard it said before that, like, David didn't discipline his sons. I'm wondering if, like, that is something for Solomon too, that, like, rather than try to, like, overthrow dad, right, because dad's gone now anyway, but, like, I don't, like, he obviously probably wasn't like that. But what if, you know, that was still, like, sort of hanging on, like, he just kept going and going and going, just wanting more and more and more, almost like the sons had wanted kingdoms, but now he just wants possessions.
Gord, I think this is a question for you. This is way out of my area of expertise right now.
Well, we're just digging deep. That's all into it for a moment. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that could have been a different side? Because the other sons, like you said, were after, David's kingdom, and, like, they always wanted more. Now Solomon is king, and, like, he wants more, and he just doesn't stop. like you guys said, right? Like the slaves, like even proving like
More wants more,
mm,
right?
yeah.
And sometimes poverty can be one of the biggest salvations in a person's life, because it brings life home to reality to them, and helps them see that all this other stuff is really not that important. A lot of poor people are very happy. You go to Africa, I grew up there. Many people we knew who had way less money than us were very happy. How is that possible?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I think it's about that time that where we hit into
Davakim.
Davakim.
Let's
Gord,
go.
can you hit us up with a Davakim too? Davakim.
I can try. I'll try to think of something. You just put me on the spot.
Oh, my.
Okay. All right. You go ahead. What do you think? Just toss something. Totally random. Super random.
Okay. What percentage of people do you think would like to live in Newfoundland?
Whoa.
10.
Can I actually say that's impressive that you came up with that quick? Like, I literally just threw this at you. Okay, so you said 10%, Edmund?
No. Let me think about that
Okay.
for a minute.
Sorry, Newfoundlanders.
So you're saying like 10% of the world's population? Or like,
Oh,
is that?
okay, no.
Or
hang
you
on,
mean like
wait.
how many people in Newfoundland still want to stay here?
I'm not being specific.
Okay.
Okay. I was thinking
I've
people
thrown
in,
it wide open.
I was thinking like if given the chance, everybody in Newfoundland, what percentage of them would stay here?
Okay.
It's funny you interpret it that way.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you want to
What does that
leave?
say?
You got like free.
I would say. Well, I would say, okay, if you're in Newfoundland, I'd say probably 50-50. 50 want to get out of here and 50 want to stay.
Okay, yeah. that's
Okay,
right.
that's what I'm going to toss. I'm going to right down the middle.
Okay.
However,
Safe answer.
I would say it's very safe. I would say that if for people coming here, I would argue a lot of people don't even know we exist.
Maybe more so a few years ago. I think more and more we're kind of getting discovered a bit
Fair enough.
because with immigration, a lot of people are coming in here from other countries and things like that. It's becoming more of a, like some people from, I don't know if Hollywood is the right term, but there have been people like using scenes in Newfoundland for popular movies and things like that. So it's maybe coming more on the map a little bit.
Well, the tech support lady from California did not get that memo because she was sure Newfoundland was in Normandy, over in France.
So can we say 99.9% and just leave that Californian lady from...
1%. What do you think, Gord?
I don't know how many times I've had people come here and visit from away and say how incredible this place is. So I just wonder if Newfoundlanders undersell themselves, if they underestimate the value of being here.
Yeah. I just so everyone knows, if you do come to Newfoundland, it is a wonderful place. Also, we get $0 from Newfoundland Labrador Tourism. Just so that we're clear.
We are not sponsored by the province at all.
We don't make a dime. Just so that everyone knows. Okay, so that's actually really funny. So I asked you about the Davakim. You came up with the Davakim right on the spot. I was being really dirty. I had a Davakim too.
Oh,
So I'm going to
man.
drop another Davakim.
That's rotten.
That is super rotten, but it was amazing how fast you were processing. Okay, ready? Here you go. What is the worst thing to drop in public?
A deuce.
Thank you, Evan.
You're welcome. I don't think I want to change my answer.
No,
That's-
that was
normally
fair.
I'd change them, but
Yeah,
that's
drop a
pretty bad.
deuce.
I think this is generational. I'm not quite sure what that means.
Drop a fart.
Oh, okay.
Drop a poop.
That is awesome.
There we go.
Okay, Gord,
that's
what do you think?
generational for sure. Yeah.
What's the worst thing to drop in public?
Well, if you're in the middle of a fire and you drop your voice,
Ooh.
Nobody can hear you.
Okay. You're going philosophical.
And practical.
There's a fire!
I am going to say dropping a thermos of coffee in a building. True story. Happened to me at Mon in my first year of university. I was in the science building, sat on this bench in the hall, and I had my Contigo mug. Love you, Contigo, just so we're clear. If you're someone from Contigo is listening to this, send me a mug. But anyway, I was sat on the bench, and I gave myself a little scoot. And when I scooted, the whole chair came out from with me, and my Contigo mug, which was lying on the chair, landed perfectly flat in the hall and broke open. The lid broke right off. And of course, science building. You ever been in science building, right?
Not the new one, no.
Oh no, the old one.
I haven't.
Oh, okay. So I was in there. It's like shaped like a square. All the halls.
Okay.
There were like a million cracks in that floor.
Oh,
and the building's like on a
man.
slant. And so all my coffee just traveled in all the cracks. And it literally went like, I would say, 50 feet, just following cracks. And then the nearest bathroom was 2 hallways down. It was a time. Anyway,
Sounds lovely.
I'll leave that Davakeem there. You're dropping a deuce. You're
Not at the moment,
Your
no.
voice
you're
into
dropping
the
your voice
fire.
to the fire, and I'm dropping coffee.
Very good.
All right. Gord, do you want to pick us up in the next... Gord's going to start at verse 12 and go to 17. And by the way, we're all reading from the English Standard Version. So if you happen to have a different version, then it's going to be a little bit different from ours. But Gord's going to kick us off.
The vanity of living wisely. So I turned to consider wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do who comes after the king? Only what has already been done. Then I saw there is more gain in wisdom than in folly, as there is more gain in light than in darkness. The wise person has his eyes in his head, but the fool walks in darkness. And yet I perceive that the same event happens to all of them. Then I said in my heart, what happens to the fool will happen to me also. Why then have I been so very wise? And I said in my heart that this also is vanity. For of the wise as of the fool there is no enduring remembrance, seeing that in the days to come all will have been long forgotten. How the wise dies just like the fool. So I hated life, because what is done under the sun was grievous to me, for all is vanity and a striving after the wind.
Gord, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Have you ever been offered a job by Audible? For narrating?
Yeah.
You got like the most amazing voice.
What?
You do.
Oh, thank
Yes,
you.
and I
Maybe
was just
should
listening to you,
apply.
and I was like, man, I could really like just like lie back on the couch and listen to the voice.
Oh, I'll keep that in mind.
There you go.
New job opportunity.
Yeah, right. There was a lot in that. Anyone want to give it a go? Is something that stood out to you? Because I'm still processing that.
You know, there's no mention of God here at all in this section. I feel like he's drowning in his sorrow, and he can't see the value in wisdom. That doesn't mean the Bible is stating here that there's no point in wisdom. It's just the way he sees things in his despair.
Yeah.
But let's face it, you and I both know that people who have wisdom and have something to offer are remembered much longer than those who don't.
Definitely. Yeah.
But it just shows how this living under the sun taints your whole view of life and what is good and what is valuable. You know, that's how I see it. I don't.
Yeah. So one of the things that just stood out to me really is just the end on that last verse there that you just left off with. So I hated life, because what is done under the sun was grievous to me. For all is vanity and is striving after the wind. So again, we're getting the repetition, right? He's repeating that same phrase, right? Under the sun. He keeps going back to that. But the fact that he said so I hated life. I was talking to a few people there last week, and young people, and they were younger than me, and they were telling me that their friends have stated to them, what's the point?
Mm.
And they're young, like way young, right? I'm 35, and I'm talking about like teens, right?
Yeah.
And I was shocked, right? Really, when I heard that, because like, you know, you hear about these things in the news or, you know, social media or studies or whatever, but when you're actually talking to someone that you know, and then you hear them say that they know someone who's close to them, who's very young, like them, stating something like that, I was taken back for a moment. I'm like, wow, like 12 years old, and stating that what's the point? You know, I'm like, man, that hit like a ton of bricks. And so when I see that, right, so I hated life, reminds me of that, you know? Heavy, very heavy. What do you think, Evan?
I mean, where this is King Solomon who wrote this, one of the wisest people probably known to man. It was probably a heavy weight on his shoulders, like I have to be wise. I have to keep gaining wisdom. I have to know what to do in every situation. And sometimes that can drive you mad if you're in your head long enough. And it almost seemed like that was a pursuit for him. I need to keep gaining more wisdom. I need to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Because what was it, verse 17? Yeah, so I hated life because what is done under the sun was grievous to me. This sounds like I was working at this. This is my toil. This is what I was doing under the sun, and it gave me seemingly nothing. That's the same thing that happens to the fool that does nothing to gain wisdom, to keep striving, to do better, to keep, you know.
Yeah.
Same thing happens to him as what happens to me. So,
yeah.
Right?
Do you think that the rise of suicide rates among young people today relates to the kind of mindset you were talking about?
Yeah.
Hearing what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. I know when I worked for the police for 7 years, you know, I dealt with a lot of suicidal calls, and you know, one of the common things that were tied to it was what's the point, right? And then you add in drugs and alcohol, right? So you already have someone that's struggling, and then you add those factors in, and then it's almost like turbocharged, right? Because then they're losing control over an already very delicate and, you know, serious issue. But yeah, I definitely do, and I think that this is opinionated now, but I think that social media does not help that at all. You know, because you're constantly having people tell you who you are, who you need to be, and often you're comparing yourself to these people who seemingly seem very successful, but it's often a false reality, right? So we have this, as we keep coming back to, right, under the sun. There's this constant, and you know, I just want to clarify too, like, we're not talking like doom and gloom, you know, just death and all these things. It's the reality of the world around us. But all three of us gathered around this table are followers of Christ. And we know the benefits of following Jesus and how he does change your life and gives you a plan and a purpose, you know.
You guys know Ian here, CLE. Have you ever heard of that name?
Nope.
No.
She's a well-known scholar, and she was raised in a Muslim home in Somalia, and a very extremist home, and was raised burning Bibles and being anti-Christian and all the rest. And then when she became an adult, she became an atheist. And she wrote a very famous book called Infidel. She used to travel the world with celebrated atheists, and they loved nothing better than to trash Christianity and everything. So a couple of years ago, she actually came to Christ.
Wow.
And she tells her story. It's fascinating, because what happened was she had been struggling with depression for years. And been to one shrink after another, one therapist. This is how I remember her story. And so her latest therapist said to her, I don't think your problem is psychological or emotional. You are spiritually bankrupt.
Wow.
And so I want you to go home and write down all the characteristics of a God that you think you could worship. So she did. She took it seriously. And when she was done, she realized that she didn't have to make him up. His name was Jesus.
Wow.
She gave her life to Jesus and she was healed of depression. And she describes her healing from depression as like the death and resurrection experience that Jesus Christ experienced. And her healing was the resurrection.
Wow.
The death of her. And then she says, she actually appeared in Unheard, which is a well-known podcast out of Britain. She told her story, and she said that she doesn't just believe in a Christian worldview, she really believes in Christ. And to be honest, I lost track of my thought. I know I was going to say something I thought was pretty good. And all of a sudden it's
happens
left me.
all the time. What's her name again?
Ayan Hirsi Ali.
Okay.
But anyway, the bottom line is, this is what she said. She said that she wonders if a lot of young people today who are struggling with mental health issues, if the reason is because we have failed to pass on in Western society the true roots of our culture, which are not just principles, but they are about Jesus.
Wow.
And so
Leading
Richard Dawkins has been a good friend of hers, and he can't believe what's happened to her.
And therefore that leads to spiritual bankruptcy.
Exactly.
Right, when you don't.
But I mean, an atheist is by definition spiritually bankrupt. You could say they've actually rejected that, right?
Yeah.
They've rejected the supernatural and
wow.
So it's profound. And here we are studying this.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it's that very thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That's one thing that I struggled with a lot before I came to Christ was depression and just not knowing what was going to come next. Because I'm a deep thinker at heart anyway. So I'm always trying to figure out what I can do next. What is this? How does this work? So on and so forth. But I always kind of had it in the back of my mind. Why? Is it to make me a good person? Is it to make me I don't know, proud of myself or something? Why? I didn't want to believe in anything because I was self-aware that I was a thinker, and if I had it in my mind that this is real, like Jesus is real, I'm going to spend every waking moment trying to analyze it, and I'm going to drive myself insane. Because I didn't know how to not. That's just how I'm built. I like thinking about things, sometimes to my own detriment. But
Well, it's interesting that, even now, I find with myself and, my stage of life, Gord, you said earlier, father of four and married, right? And for me, I'm a father of four and married, and we're just, two different stages of life, but we're, I know for me, at times, I find the struggle very real balancing, fatherhood, husband, right? Fatherhood, and then also, teaching full time and then volunteering with a lot of things. And I find lately, and when I mean lately, I mean past probably 6 months, is that I'm doing so much continually that I've entered in off and on. I don't know if they're spiritual attacks from the enemy on me. I don't know, but I'll enter into these little bouts, usually at the end of the week, of when there's a pause, I feel down. You know what I mean? And it's so as I'm reading, as we're talking and reading through this, there's certain little bits that he's saying in there that I've caught myself saying, right? And I think the most common one is, what's the point? Right? Is what's the point?
Yeah.
And I know very well God's plan and purpose for me, you know, where he's led, where he's brought me from. You know, I pray that, you know, as he continues to guide me forward. But even in those dark moments, and I'm sure, listener, you know, you could possibly relate if this is something that you struggle with, where you're there and you have these moments of, okay, the week is done. I want to relax, but I don't know how to right now because I just feel so overwhelmed. So what's the point? I'm just going to go to bed. And it's like, what? Whoa. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I just want to share that too, because Evan, you shared before you were a believer. I'm sharing right now as a believer, right? And I've been walking with the Lord since I'm a kid. But there's still, regardless of before or after, the enemy will always try and come after you.
Oh yeah, I've been through periods in my adult life long after I was saved, even when I was a pastor, where I would go through doubt, self-doubt. I would go through periods of discouragement and being blue, being down, whatever you want to say it.
That's right.
However you want to say it, but thank God they were just episodes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And, I mean, let's face it. I don't think Jesus was jumping for joy on the cross or in the Garden of Gethsemane. I think he could really identify with, why would that be important for him to identify with that? Why would it be important for the book of Ecclesiastes to be written in such almost a despairing way? To me, it's like God is saying, I just want you to know that I really get what's going on here. Like, I really understand you.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to varnish this. I mean, that's pretty strong language.
Yes, very much so.
You know, you think, well, that could lead people to think that, this is the norm. Well, read on. Read the context, do your homework, but
yes,
this episode of despair is real for him. And that's okay.
Yeah. Wow. That's solid. This is why I call you Gandalf. The man of wisdom. For those of you we're big Lord of the Rings fans. Oh, also, news update. We've officially got Evan to watch disc 1 of The Fellowship.
Which is the first, hour and a half of a 3-hour movie or something?
3.5 hour movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so he's disc 1 in. So we just left off at the Council of Elrond.
Oh.
So, anyway.
We have a new... We have a new recruit.
New recruit to join the ranks.
Christian's been talking to me about watching Lord of the Rings for maybe half a year now. And we've been saying, you should come down soon and watch Lord Yeah, cool, let's do that. Watch it. And we only got to it 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And remember last podcast, right? My pet, I wanted to be an int.
Yeah.
Right? So, anyway.
Yes. I heard that and I thought, wow, I have never heard anybody want an ant.
Oh, my.
All right, let's keep cracking. We're going to go, I'm going to read right now to the end, so buckle up. That's hilarious if you're driving. And
please buckle up.
Yes, please buckle up,
yes.
Just for safety.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Verse 18. I hated all my toil, in which I toil under the sun, seeing that I must leave it to the man who will come after me, and who knows whether he will be wise or a fool. Yet he will be master of all for which I toiled and used my wisdom under the sun. This is also vanity. So I turned about and gave my heart up to despair over all the toil of my labors under the sun. Because sometimes a person who has toiled with wisdom and knowledge and skill must leave everything to be enjoyed by someone who did not toil for it. This is also vanity and a great evil. What has a man from all the toil and striving of heart with which he toils beneath the sun? For all his days are full of sorrow, and his work is a vexation. Even in the night his heart does not rest. This is also vanity. There is nothing better for a person than that he should eat and drink and find enjoyment in his toil. This also I saw is from the hand of God. For apart from him, who can eat or who can have enjoyment? For to the one who pleases God has given wisdom and knowledge and joy, but to the sinner he has given the business of gathering and collecting, only to give to one who pleases God. This is also vanity and a striving after wind.
So finally God shows up in this chapter.
Yeah, at the end.
Don't you find that that's kind of a pattern? God keeps showing up at the end of a discourse. And then, of course, at the end of the book, that's where he really comes in very strongly about what to do in relationship with God. But, instead of the normal, start off with God.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
And yes, so you have your struggles, but God. No. Go into all that darkness and depth and all the rest, because people do experience these things. But then you can come out of it.
Yes.
Into God. You ever seen the movie Inside Out?
Yes. Yeah.
It's not until sadness is embraced that the girl actually comes through and experiences true joy. Right?
I gotta watch that movie again.
Sadness is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just if you stay there, definitely that's
that's where.
But if you fight against it and don't own those feelings, you can just delay the process.
Interesting. It was something hitting on your point. The last time that I felt down, or had an episode of it, was last Friday. And it was funny, when I said that, when I knew I was feeling that, and I said, I was going to go off the bed, the very thing that I thought of for a moment, but I decided not to do at that time, and that was because it was a Friday night, was go spend time with the Lord. And that was the thing I didn't do. And I just went upstairs. Then I went out, and me and Evan went for a drive and had a nice McFlurry. The McFlurry down by the pitch black water in Foxtrap.
Next best thing after going to God.
Yeah. McFlurry.
Ice cream and staring into the darkness.
Staring into the darkness. But I just want to highlight that that was something I could have done. I could have went and spent some time with the Lord, and I think that I know that would have made such a difference. It's like when you know that you're supposed to go to something, but yet you don't, when you know that that's the thing that could really work, Why do we do that?
The works of the
Because
flesh.
we think we have to put on our best for God or something. I'm not in great shape right now. I don't want to deal with God.
Man, I just made myself sound like Adam and Eve in the garden. Like the Lord's walking through the garden.
You mean you made yourself sound human?
Yeah. Fair enough. But yeah, it's true though, right? It's like, like when God was walking through the garden, where were they? They were off hiding after they made a mistake. Right? And I don't know. It's interesting.
Can't deal with God right now.
Yeah.
That's just too much for me.
Yeah.
And God sits there and says, just stop pretending. I know what's going on anyway.
Yeah.
It's really just like it's brilliant in the way that Billy Graham used to have his his big crusades. He would that song "Just as I Am." I think that song lowered so many walls in people's hearts.
Do you remember any of the lyrics from it? You don't have to sing it, but do you remember any?
Just as I am, without one plea, but that thy blood was shed for me. And can't remember the rest right off the top of my head.
But still, just as I am.
Yeah, no pretense.
And I think that just sort of goes back into a lot of maybe this common thought that in order to go to church, or in order to be a Christian, or in order to even read the Bible, it's like you gotta, and I think this is a false idea, but like you gotta be better.
Yeah.
And when in fact Christ calls us to come just as we are.
Yeah.
right? As you just said with that song, right? Just as I am. And, yeah. I don't know, man. I
The
think...
ultimate approachable God.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He really is. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a portion of time where I was racking my mind after I was saved, where I didn't fully understand what sin was yet, and I'm still trying to get there. But I was trying to see, like, is there a concrete list of all the sins so I can just focus on not doing them? Because there's so many there, and I still have a lot to learn. But I had it in my head, like, if I don't know what they are and I'm doing them, how can I go to you if I'm hurting you and I don't want to, but I don't know that I am? Right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to come to you with open arms and a knife in my back to, you know? It was tricky thinking that way, but...
You know what it says to me, though, hearing you say that? It says to me, you're sincere. Maybe unnecessarily distant from God at times because you're, you know, but your heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
Because if you weren't sincere, you wouldn't care.
And that's the key. That's the key. So, Evan, as we get ready to wrap up, can you give us what's your thoughts on the last 2 episodes?
Last 2 episodes, or the last 2
last
chapters?
2 chapters. Last 2 chapters.
Last 2 chapters? Well, like we were saying last time, it was pretty poetic was the first one. This one almost felt like you're writing a letter to somebody. And you're saying, this is all that I've done. A very mournful letter, but a letter nonetheless to say, I've done all this. I've looked out for all this my whole life. Turned out to be nothing.
Yeah.
So, if there's anything you do or don't do, just, what was it? Find enjoyment in your toil. Instead of working towards something. Have fun with what you're working towards. So that what you get in the end isn't your goal that's going to make you happy, but while you're going and getting it.
That's good. I remember someone said to me once, like, enjoy the journey when you're going, right? And so often it's easy to look right down, right? And this is what I'm striving towards. This is what I'm aiming towards. And in the journey, in the process, you might feel absolutely miserable, right? And I know as we talked about, you know, parenting just for a little bit there earlier, but, you know, like when the chaos is going and everyone is madness and I'm driving my minivan out over rush hour traffic, you know, with 4 kids in the back and they're all pretending to be hamsters. And I'm driving and I feel like I'm going to crack up. Not really, just so everyone knows I am sane, but it takes...
For now.
For now.
I relate.
Yeah, thank you. Did you have you still got a minivan, don't you?
I'm trying to sell it, actually.
Trying to get past that stage.
Is anybody interested?
What is it, Gord? What kind of minivan
It's
is
a
it?
Sienna, 2014.
How many miles? Or kilometers?
300,000.
Oh, there you go.
Kids sold separately.
Yeah, it's all separately. All right, well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it's been a blessing having you on, Gord.
Great
You know, I
being
feel
here.
like this could be a thing. What do you think?
Yeah.
Like off and on. Like we'd love to have you
Well, I'd love to join you.
on the show,
Yes,
right? And
it's a lot of fun.
It is. It is fun. And we just want to do a little shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Thank
the
you.
listeners. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. We're seeing the views going up on our list, and so we just appreciate you guys. And we just hope that you're blessed. And again, anytime there's ever a thought, an idea, you know, you want us to drop a certain kind of Davakeem, and you know, or maybe it's a topic in the future that you'd like to hear for an episode, or maybe if you're someone that we know and you'd even like to come on the show with us.
Hit us up.
Hit us
Let
up.
us know.
Just letting you know, it's a great experience.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Down in the creepy basement.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Thank you all for joining us on this episode of the Second Chance Podcast. Once again, my name is Evan.
My name is Christian.